is on the way. That's right, I said it. If it's your first time checking out the show, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you're representing. Throw up your flag. Family, I need you to smash up the like, smash up the like, smash up the likes. Also, if you have not done so already, on YouTube, after you subscribe, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing right now so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you be in the loop. Family, first and foremost, let me salute Terrence Crawford. Salute, salute, salute. He fought a perfect fight. I'll put it like this. It's tough to call anything, say any fight was perfect because there's always something you could have improved on. But let's just say he fought a very, very good fight, a great fight. Also salute to Canelo because Canelo, he was gracious in defeat. He fought the best that he could. He was trying to get at Bud, but he couldn't. He just couldn't. He was too slow. He couldn't get there. He just couldn't get there. And this is what I was telling y'all from day one. Canelo is too slow. Now, having said that, the fight was still very interesting because we knew that even though Bud was dominating the fight, all it would take is one punch from Canelo to end things. And that hope right there, that one little slither of hope is enough to make people want to see them run it back. They want to see him run it back. And I want to see him run it back. I typically, when I watch fights, fam, I don't really care to see them fight again. I don't care to see fights, you know. I don't care to see a rematch and all that kind of stuff. But those two, Canelo is still one of the best right now. He's still one of the best. And here's the thing. You know that they're going to do the part two. You know they're talking about it already because when I look around at the boxing landscape, there really isn't another fight that would garner that much interest. That was one of those fights that come along every 10, 15 years. And so the only way to repeat that is to do a part two, to run it back. There is no other fighter out there that I can think of that could bring that much limelight to the event. There's some other fighters out there, very good fighters. Some, one could argue there are a few great fighters out there right now. But for Terrence Bud Crawford, he's fought his entire boxing career trying to get his respect. Even though he's been undefeated for all of this time, even though he's totally decorated, he's been undisputed champion in multiple weight divisions, all of that stuff, people still doubt it, doubt. And that's why I'm so happy for him and his family, because the dude has been consistent, he's been disciplined, he's been patient, he's been driven. And for him to finally get to the world stage, get that recognition that he's been deserving, that some people have always said he deserved, it's beautiful to see. It's beautiful to see. And he did it in dramatic fashion. He didn't just win. He didn't just win the fight. He dominated the fight. But although he dominated the fight was still very interesting. You still gave Canelo a chance. Most people still gave him I didn't, but most people still gave him, well, I ain't gonna say most, but many people still gave him a chance to win the fight. And that's why they're gonna wanna see a part two. they're holding out hope that if Canelo just make a few adjustments, he can beat Bud. That's what they're thinking. If Canelo just apply a little bit more pressure, let his hands go, he can beat Bud. That's what they're thinking. They're wrong. Styles make fights. And Canelo Alvarez is right up Bud's alley in terms of matching with a top tier fighter who he could beat again and again and again. Now, here's the thing. He cannot beat Canelo if he's not on his A game. You got to bring your A game, and that's what Bud typically brings. He typically brings his A game. But the bigger the fight, the bigger the game. The bigger the fight, the bigger the game. You know, so he'll be ready. He will be ready. So I'd like to see Bud. I think the fight, because I don't see another fighter out there right now, you know, at 168 or I think 175 would be damn too big. But you know, you never know with Terrence Crawford. He might decide to do it. But I don't see another fighter at 168. I don't see a 160. I don't see anybody at 147 that could bring the type of excitement. Benavidez ain't Canelo, bro. Although I do believe that Benavidez could possibly beat Canelo. Benavidez versus Crawford, I don't think would have that as much interest. However, it would be a pretty big fight, but I don't think it's gonna fill up the Allegiant Arena and do 70,000 people. I don't think it'll have Vegas on fire like Canelo did. Yeah, Benavidez would be a good fight. That would be a fight that I would want to watch, but I wouldn't go out of my way, to see that fight. I would see it, I would watch it, and if I can conveniently be at the fight, I would be there. But I'm not gonna go out of my way like I did for this Canelo fight. Canelo versus Terrence Bud Crawford. Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Bud Crawford. That was the fight for ages. That was the fight for the ages, man. So, yeah, although Canelo was not close to winning, he didn't come close. It was the judges had it right. The judges had, remember, fam, I called it. I said it would be a unanimous decision and Bud would win. Some people were saying knockout, even though they had a knockout clause. So that was an incentive for one of those guys to knock the other out. But, you can put all the money up in the world, and if it ain't meant to be, it ain't meant to be based on the style of fights. So you look at those fighters and you realize that, okay, Canelo is the bigger man. He's the slower man. But he is, he's probably also the stronger man, right? But Bud is the more skilled. He's great at making adjustments. And so when you add those two factors, you look at one versus the other, you got to give Bud the edge. When you look at the fact that he's the faster fighter, he's the most skilled fighter, and he knows how to make adjustments. Bud don't have one adjustment gear. He got about 8 or 9 or 10 of them. So whatever fight that you're fighting, whatever you show him in that ring, he's going to make the adjustment to make sure that he comes out victoriously. That ain't something that most fighters can do. Most fighters only have 1 or 2 gears. That's it. Bud got about 9 or 10 of them. So a rematch is absolutely going to happen. That is the biggest fight for Canelo. I mean, that is the biggest fight. That's the biggest fight for Bud, and it is the biggest fight for Canelo also. Benitez would have been a real big fight for Canelo, and it still would be a big fight. Put it like this: I only see Benitez, a fight between Benitez and Canelo, or Benitez and Bud, as a fight that can come close to, you know, what the excitement that was behind this Crawford versus Canelo fight. I only see Benitez being the wild card. I don't see anybody else. So, but if you want my immediate, if you want to get right down to it, Bud just made 50, 60, 70, 100 million, whatever he made. He gonna want to keep getting that type of action. Once you get to that level, you want to stay there. So Bud gonna be trying to make that deal happen. And that deal probably will only happen with Canelo. If he fight Benitez, he'll have to take a few million less. But it still could be a good fight for Bud's legacy. I think it'll be a very good notch to put in his belt to take out Benitez. So you take out the best of the best, and Benitez is one of the best. If he can do that, yeah. I just wouldn't bet against Bud. You know, I just wouldn't bet against him. You know. It's not wise. Bud is absolutely not going to retire. There's no way possible. He fought too long to get to the top of the mountain. When you fight that long to get to the top of the mountain, you got to flex a little bit. You know, like you can't, when you fight that long to get to the top of the mountain, you don't take anything for granted because you know how long it took you to get it. And now you want to hold on to it for as long as you can. So I don't see Bud retiring. I don't see him retiring at all. What you say about Benavidez? So here's why I think Benavidez would be an actual easier. I think Benavidez could actually be an easier fight for Terrence Crawford, because Benavidez his defense is not as good, and also, well, let me put it like this: I think Benavidez's biggest weakness is those wide punches that he throw. He throw a lot of round punches, like a lot of punches. He go like this with his punches instead of coming like that with it. He come from here. And if you come from here and the other guy's going straight, you going around and the other guy's going straight, he's gonna get there before you get there. So I don't see Benavidez beating Crawford. But it'd be a good fight. There goes somebody else down Crawford. Benavidez is too long and strong for Crawford. There's always something about Crawford. He can't do this. This guy's too big. This guy's he's too slow. He's too old. This and that and the third and this. There's always something. And all Bud continues to do is win. All he does is win. All he do is win, win, win no matter what. And every time he stepped into the building, everybody's hands go up. And they stay there. And they stay there. Man, y'all better leave Bud alone, man. Y'all don't want to, y'all better leave, y'all better stop doubting Bud Crawford. Y'all better stop doubting that dude, man. Damn, how hard-headed can you be? How much more do you want from him? If anybody that Terrence Crawford faced next, besides Canelo or Benavidez, he is going to be an overwhelming favorite. I mean, overwhelming favorite. I wish that there was like at least two more dudes around Bud's division, two more killers, like two more really greats that was right there in Bud's reach. Two more greats, like greats. And they could just, it's like the best of the best, just fight every 6 months. You got a pretty much a super fight every 6 months. That's what I want to see. I want to see boxing get back to super fights every 6 months. You got a super fight every 6 months, and you got a title fight on the undercard, like with rising stars, you know, on the undercard. Yeah, I want to see those fights. That's right, the pride of Omaha, Nebraska. Omaha, stand up. I bet you never thought you'd hear those words. Omaha, stand up. I see you, Hernando. Yeah, go again. Another brawl, a conflict. Somebody finna get their ass kicked. What's up, Alex? What it do? What's up, Buckhorse DC? Sugar Shane, what up? Beyond Compare. Altar Boy. Rock B. AA Photography, what's up? What's that say? Empty Hearted. What's up, Nikki J? Lamar Lampkin, what's up? Connie Harch, what's up, C? Michael Jenkins. That's right, Ants. He did put on a clinic. He did put on a clinic. All right, fam, that's my time. I appreciate y'all joining the live. Until next time, enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. Terrence Bud Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez, part 2 on the way. No more talk.